Welcome in, everyone. Hopefully is what I meant to say. You guys are having an amazing week before Christmas. Anybody stressed out yet? Everybody doing good? Everybody doing good?
What's Christmas? Man, we got to set up our tree still. By the way, Vince, I just was telling you about. We were
Jack,
waiting to.
Are you kidding me?
Well, we set it up in the living room. We were going to rearrange everything, so we didn't want to set it up. So it'll go up tomorrow.
Wow. I don't think I could do that. I'd get anxiety.
Bree would let you do that. I know that.
Oh, heck no. Heck no. Guys, let me say hello to some beautiful people here for guys. I hate to say this. This is probably our last show of the year, correct?
Could you say hello to everybody except Wayne? Because Wayne is incorrect. I was on time tonight. I was not late.
Wayne, he literally was in here with like 5 seconds before showtime. So that is he was actually very early compared to, I think that's going to be, we'll go around the room later on with New Year's resolutions. I'm sure John's is to be on time every single week, but we'll let him, he can decide that when we get to that point. Evelyn, thank you for the first message of the night. She couldn't stick around, I don't think, but Evelyn, thank you for being here, even if just in moral support for now. Anna, I'm glad you're on break. I wish I had a break. I could use it, but I am not, unfortunately. William, hello. Never ask hello. Anthony, how you doing? Velvet. John is distracting me with his beauty over here. David, hello. Wayne, listen, I know John told me not to say hello, but I'm saying hello to Wayne regardless. Because he usually would be right if he's calling you out and being late. Pop Funko UK. I should not be reading this late at night with a glare in my eyes and no glasses on my face. But Craig, good to see you, my friend. Amelia loves Arrow. Hello. Started watching the video. Is this this looks like a nice man. Well, thank you. What a nice message. I always love seeing the new faces and whatnot here on PFO. Jeremy, hello. Velvet, I already said hi to you. Magma, 23 months. Wow, look at that. Next month, 2 years. When it's on our channel, 2 years. Next month, we'll celebrate together.
2025 with 2 years.
Man. Michael, how are you doing this evening? Sir Bass, hello. Guys, if I miss any, Riley, if I miss anybody, Tim, I see you as well, my friend. And I am going to shout out Gator here. What's popping? You know what? A lot. A lot has been popping.
There's a lot has been popping.
I'll be honest with you, a lot. Guys, how are you guys doing? How's everybody doing this week?
We got a super chat. Look at that from
David.
David.
What did you say? Wishing you all the happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Here's with my
happy holidays to you as well. I did not even grab anything to drink because I've been helping get homework done. We've been cramming some homework in before we came down here tonight. So unlike normal, when I'm very prepared, I'm only very mildly prepared for this evening. But yeah, so how's the holidays going, guys?
It's going. I mean, like I said, we rearranged, we got a new couch today, so we had to rearrange stuff and take stuff out and get rid of some chairs. We might still rearrange some shelves and stuff like that out there. But yeah, fun stuff like that. I got most of my shopping done, which is good. I only have Shannon's stocking stuffers to do and some other little things. So
nice.
Yeah.
Luckily, Bree takes care of most of this stuff, but I gotta get a couple things. I'm gonna have to try to finish that up this weekend. Man, I don't even have that much time this weekend, but we have so much stuff going on. It's not even funny. Teresa, thank you. Look at 27 months, over 2 years already. Wow, what a long time.
We put
what about you, John?
Yesterday or 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And it's late. I know Joanna wanted to put them up much earlier, but we actually she put them up. I ended up we were so behind. I spent 4 hours doing yard work. We are definitely feeling it, going from having no land to now having an acre. I spent those 4 hours just raking up and bagging up leaves and I still have a ton to do, but yeah, I know she's gonna want the Christmas lights up much earlier come next year.
Yeah, we started the lights November 1st. Like we had half of ours up November 1st. And usually Gabby and Bree help like get the stuff out of the attic and because I'm getting older. I'm an older gentleman at this point. Is
An older gentleman.
I'm an older gentleman, so I should not be going up in the attic unsupervised. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
they give me a hand. We go kind of, believe it or not, we go kind of crazy.
I believe it.
Yeah, I know it's very surprising, but yeah, we love
like
Christmas.
The Griswolds. Like the Griswolds. Like, are you Clark?
Josh, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty damn close. I mean, yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, there might not be 30,000 lights, but there's probably 15,000 lights, I would say, out there right now. Yeah, it gets kind of crazy.
I can't believe it. I mean, I can and I can't. Like, it's crazy that it's 6 days away. But at the same time, I just feel like this year, especially, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of just felt like the holiday season for a long time. So I can sort of believe that it's next week, but I'm definitely not ready. I still need to pick up a few small things. It's hard. So now I know this is probably like a stupid complaint, but some of you guys maybe can understand and show some compassion towards this. So now that I'm working primarily from home, because I switched to doing mostly virtual stuff for the Coast Guard now, it's hard to get away from Joanna to like buy her something, or it's really difficult to buy something for her without her knowing, because she's seeing all the emails and everything. So that's definitely been a little bit of a challenge this holiday season. But
yeah, it gets trickier and trickier, especially as everything goes kind of online. Like, how do you get stuff shipped? You know what I'm saying? Then you got to try to hide it, and
yeah, and I'm terrible at hiding stuff. Like, she knows everything. So
Bree, I'll be honest, I love her. She hides she hides it in plain sight. Like, even when the kids were younger, she'd hide the stuff in our storage room. Literally, the kids would go in there all the time. They had stuff in there, like, and it'd be just out. I'm like, do you think this is hiding? Like, she's got my stuff right now in her closet. And
like a bicycle just like laying there.
I walk past it every day and I pretend like I can't see anything. And I told her the other day, I'm like, the bag is like open. You didn't even close the bag. So I'm trying not to look, but it's kind of there. So, but it's a crazy time. I don't know if it's because it's on a Wednesday this year that it like messes things up more. I don't know. This year has felt different.
I feel like it's also like, I don't know, for work it's weird for me because I'm like, I work Sunday, Monday, and then I'm off for like, but it's like Christmas off. I'm not off before, so it's like, oh, it's time. It's not like you had a couple days before to finish up shopping and do some other stuff. So you got to get stuff done throughout. And then,
yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. Like, does everybody in the chat? Because I know a lot of people are just taking all next week off, which makes sense. Like, so you can have that lead up that you're talking about, Josh. So is anybody taking the whole week off? Because I mean, if you are, I feel like the best way to do it. If you can, you're in a position to do it.
I feel like I really wanted to.
No, yeah.
Well, especially falling on Wednesday this year. Like, we're working a half day on Monday, and then we're coming back on Friday, working Monday, and then taking 2 more days off again, which I don't love, but and I kind of can decide. I can kind of decide for our guys, but some of the guys want to work, and then you feel bad having them have to take a day, vacation day or something like that too. So we're gonna work a couple days. I think next year will be a little bit easier because it'll kind of tie right into the weekend. But falling right in the middle of the week, it feels weird this year. And I think what you said, and I think you said it in your video too, Jen, like the deals came out so early, it felt like this year, but it went by quick. It went by faster than normal, which is surprising to me. But it seemed like it went by even faster than
the deals. I definitely hope that stores and retailers, like, I know this year was weird, and it seemed like there was definitely a big push to try to get everybody's money as fast as possible. But I really hope that retail, like, I hope that this isn't the trajectory of like years to come. Like, I really think that in order to make words like clearance and doorbuster and deal and coupon and, you know, just all those magic terms that they like to use for Black Friday. Like, I just kind of feel like if you do it so early, by the time it comes around, people are like burned out on shopping and stuff. And
Yeah.
I also just think that it kind of takes away from, like, you know, what the holidays are actually about if we're constantly getting thrown in our face, like, buy this, come to this store, here's a coupon, sign up for this credit card. Like, I went to one store today and the lady was like, have you heard about this? Did you sign up for this card? And she had, like, you know, like a 10, 15-second spiel that she's required to say in Home Goods. And I was like, nope, I don't have any of that.
Every time hit you up, like even Hot Topic. I feel every time you got to press the not this time. Like,
yeah,
not I like. Can I do that for like? Can I press it for 6 months at least or something?
Yeah,
like nope. Every time it comes up, and at least I think Home Goods and Marshalls like pushes it more. And
they definitely do.
I think they get like bonus points.
They got me. They got me.
But I've never like, I'm like, no, I don't need it. But it's, I think it's crazy during the holidays. I saw like Sam saying, you know, you had burn leave. A lot of people have to burn their leave and that. One thing I'm glad we don't, like we actually get a cash out some though, like early on. So it comes before the holidays. So if you have any floating hours left, you cash those out because those don't roll over. But then you can also cash out up to 40 hours of PTO if you have above 100. So you can cash out whatever keeps you above 100. You can cash out for up to 40. So you can get an extra little bit of like holiday money, I guess, every year in December paycheck. So that's kind of a like nice bonus when they don't make you like, I hate workplaces that make you like you have to use your leave or you lose it or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, thank you, my friend. 3 months. Look at that. And I think Chris put one in here as well. How long? Chris, 14 months. Congrats.
Nice. He has a nice little break, too.
Last show at work tomorrow night, then off to January 10th.
Oh,
that's amazing. I see. There was a bunch of people. We had like both ends of the spectrum. Some people they had a nice chunk of leave off, like Pop Stop and Funko 411, so they got time off. And then unfortunately, Wayne said I think he has to work he gets to work every day. Albie works every day minus Christmas. So, and then Air Pop Control, Craig's retired. So every day is a well-deserved day off for him. So
I mean, that sounds good right now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to find something to do because I get bored pretty easily. That's why I think I keep myself so busy. But yeah, this time of year, it just gets friggin' nuts. And, you know, I've noticed like the stuff that's been dropping lately. Now, I guess we could talk about some Funko stuff. I guess I guess that's what we'll do here.
I think it's good to like mix in the life stuff too, because I know.
No, I definitely and I think that this kind of goes into it because I'll be honest with you. So we'll talk about the NFT stuff. I didn't even get. I'll be honest. I didn't get any slides right now because I want to talk about kind of the year ahead, but I also kind of want to look at how the year wrapped up. I mean, the NFT stuff. Again, John, you did a video asking if this was the right time. I think it was the right time.
I got a lot of heat for that video.
So I don't
know if I'm going to do that again, to be honest.
What was the heat? What did you get the heat
about? Everybody so the general consensus from the people that clearly are not like, super big supporters or, people in like the inner our PFO circle, right? I know there's a portion of people that view and they're very blunt and they're very forward, and that's fine. That's the internet, you got to have thick skin. A lot of people were just saying I was crazy for thinking that it was going to sell out. A lot of people said the Mythic was not going to sell out, and the Mythic did sell out.
Oh, no, yeah.
The Mythic was going
to sell out, but we can bring up something interesting about that in a little bit.
That's kind of where I was going to go a little bit too.
I was surprised, and once again, I am biased, so I guess I need to do a better job of removing my own personal collector bias from analyzing a drop, and that's when it comes to Freddy, Franny, and Proto. I know I'm a Freddy, Franny, and Proto fan and collector, but I don't know, maybe we're going through a phase now where a lot of people are tired of Freddy, Franny, and Proto. I mean, Franny's pretty new. Proto's only 2 years old. I don't know. I I don't see like it's not like we get. I'll tell you right now. I think people are definitely burned out on My Hero Academia because that's the stuff that people reach out to us with tons of collections worth. Like they are looking to sell their My Hero. But I'll tell you, man, like the collections that Joanna goes through on a weekly basis, people do not sell us Freddies. Now, I kind of mentioned in our video today, maybe they just don't sell us Freddies because they know I'm a Freddy collector. But I don't think that's the case. I think if people want to sell something, they're going to sell something. But people do not sell Freddies. And I've talked to other people in the community who buy collections, and they say the same thing. So I'm just kind of like confused as to why there's like Freddy hate. So I don't know if it's coming from a perspective of like people are like, oh, if the Freddies are in an NFT drop, they're just like, screw that because they just hate the NFTs in general and they don't want to have to go through the extra steps to get those Freddies or pieces. But I think that there's a huge need for non-IP drops. Some people said that it's a waste of an NFT drop if there's no IP attached, and I firmly disagree. There was also one guy who wrote me this big long comment. So if you're in here, you know, I don't remember your name, but I was kind of appalled and just like I didn't understand the thought process. He was saying the drop was too Christmas-like, and that he was saying the Funkoween Series 2 drop was good because it wasn't just you look at it and it's Halloween, you look at it and it can be like monsters and stuff. But like I don't understand how they could make like a train, like a holiday train that isn't Christmassy, unless it's like all snowy or something. Like, so I just didn't understand that perspective too. So I was surprised, and I was obviously wrong. The drop didn't sell out. I was wrong with Beetlejuice. That drop did sell out. So clearly I'm not, you know, a fortune teller when it comes to NFTs.
Yeah. I mean, I think, John, also you really haven't been in the market of like buying them in the drop time, and like Vince and I pay a lot of attention, I think, to like how the drop goes and how things go up and down. This one actually surprised me more because I only thought about a 20 to 30% drop, 20 to 30% burn, and it was a 40% burn. So I think combination of timing, like you did mention, timing's bad for it.
That's
I think
what I thought too.
I think if they did it instead of the Sunny in Philadelphia drop, it would have been better off for them. Because
you know, I think it would have been better, but I still don't think it would have sold out. Yeah,
I think the biggest thing was really one of the biggest things for the Mythic pack was if that was the Nutcracker Freddy that they showed in the packs, people would have went nuts for the Nutcracker Freddy. Proto just doesn't have the power of Freddy.
But they already did a Nutcracker Freddy 3-pack.
They have, but a 10-inch Nutcracker they have never done before. So
true.
I mean, the proto looks all right, but I think right now you can tell the market it went down to 150 for Mythic pack. I grabbed Mythic pack for 150 afterwards. I didn't get it on the drop, but I grabbed it because it went down to 150. It was like $10 over retail.
Yeah, $10, $20 over retail.
I mean, the pack is still hovering around there, which, you know, and we kind of talked about this, I think, last week a little bit, and I think you guys said the same. Like, I'm like, I don't even know if I would try for this one because I really didn't want to get a 10-inch. You know, that 10-inch, you know what, even if it wasn't a 10-inch, it would have depended. You know, it was a 10-inch, so I can only base my decision on that. Because if it was something else, maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't have. But, you know, what I was kind of surprised with is how far, because we're in that season right now. We're in the holiday season right now. So I went back and I looked at the Funkoween stuff to see how far it fell, because that stuff all did fall. I think the Mythic was around 210, something like that. You
have the seasonal factor. I mean, Funko.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. So this is the point I'm making, though. So that dropped to like 210 and then 200 on the Grail.
Yeah. With
the Grail for this, and we're in the seasonal thing right now. The Grail right now was like at $105 or $115, something. 107, I think, is what it was at when I looked right before we started here. 107, which would probably bring it to one of the lower. I mean, there are several that are maybe lower, like maybe the G.I. Joe one is around $100 right now, and there's a couple maybe at 90. There's a couple that have gone less than that, but I'm surprised because that is going to be our lowest piece count Franny to date. It's going to end up being around a 600 ish,
maybe less, depending
maybe
on how
less.
many packs.
That's what I'm saying. Between a 500 and 600 piece Franny,
It's gonna be the lowest piece count Franny and critical if you want to complete the train.
Yeah. So, and that's where we're getting to my second point. I feel like Franny, is she like, I don't want to say DOA. Like, I don't want to overstate this. I don't want to say DOA. Like,
no, I think you should.
before we
I think
even
you
get
should
to
throw
her.
it out there because
I'm kind of throwing it out there, and I'm not doing it in a negative way where, I think it's horrible that they do, but are people not excited by it? It's a question to ask, because and really, let's go back to even the Batman drop. I mean, we kind of, not that I was going to see a huge clamoring for that one either, just because was it our third Batman drop of the year or fourth? It's third or fourth, I think, the year.
Do you think they went too heavy into Freddy Proto this whole year with all the specialty drops?
I think in general, I think it's like a triple edge thing right now. It's not even like a double-edged sword. It's a triple-edged sword. I don't know what you would call a sword of such, capabilities, but, I think it's partly burnout. I think it is partly burnout because we've gotten so many Freddys, and then forget that, like, we've only got a couple of the Frannies. So, and we've been all saying, like, we've been saying it here, that we'd like to see more.
Oh, I was going to say, you can't say. I mean, there's no.
That's what I'm saying. There's barely any.
They burned us out on Franny. Like I can't get behind that.
No. And that's kind of my point. So they've kind of burned us out with Freddy's. So, like, in a sense, we're just burnt out on the, like, any character at that point? Is it because we got, so many during the year? And again, no, you can't say that with Franny. And that's what I'm saying. Are people, because the burnout shouldn't be there for her, are we just not interested in Franny and just not interested in Proto? I'm starting to tend to kind of go that way, that people are just not interested, because all these things start to add up a little bit where I just don't see the same kind of clamoring.
I don't think there is as enough interest in Franny and Proto, because if you look back at, like, even you said Funko Ween, right? Funko Ween Series 2 was all Freddy's. There was none of the new characters in it. This next one was a mixture. Funimation had a mixture. Like, this one had it. So we had 3 drops this year with this kind of, like, mixture of their own, like, every character as part of that. And I think that can be hard to, like, if everyone's not on board with Franny and Proto yet. They're like, oh, it's cute and all, but I'm not willing to drop, like, I'm willing to drop $500 on a Freddy, but I'm not willing to drop $500 on a Franny.
Well, that, I was just going to say that we also don't have a precedence for a very valuable Franny yet either. Like, we got, how many different options do we have for expensive Freddys? Do you know what I'm saying? And I think for a collector, I think that does play a huge factor. We've got a long catalog of Freddys that are $500, $600, $700, $800 plus. Like, we can look behind John. And
we have yet to see a Franny that you couldn't buy.
That's kind of my point. So because that hasn't happened, I don't think we're going to get the same hype behind her. Maybe for a while. It could be a long while, and she might have to. In
Freddy's case, I would argue that people did not care about Freddy until, like, 2021. It was
that's exactly what I'm saying.
I felt like there was really, like, an overall community acceptance. There was, like, I felt like I was part of a very small hardcore, clique that really enjoyed collecting Freddy. And I think some people just really collected him because he was the limitest, or, like, the most limited pieces that Funko put out. It wasn't really like they cared about him per se. It was just like they wanted to have the rarest of the rare when it came down to Funko items. So it could be like another 10 years before people care about Franny. And I mean, I don't care. I think she's great.
But it is interesting. You see the roller driver Franny. I wanted to look her up because she was kind of like the 1500 piece. So this one's going to be half of that. And this one, the Grail, is going to be half of that. And that's going for 110 or so, like 100, 110. So this one's going to be half. So is it going to be worth? Is it going to be at that point when it comes out going to be worth that, like, double the price? I think NFTs is a whole different story till they actually come into physical. Like,
well, and that's why what Aaron said is also a great point. Like,
yeah, I was gonna make mention of that because it was something I kind of wanted to piggyback on as well.
Yeah. Because I mean, why get the packs? And I see a lot of people getting frustrated with that because they're starting to get into the NFT rhythm, right? Where they buy a couple packs, and if they try like 2 or 3 or 4 drops and they don't pull anything, well, why would they still keep buying packs? Like, you know.
You know what? And I said it in our video. We did our video today, guys. It was fantastic. Go watch it. You'll be amazed by what happened. Wasn't that great, but watch it anyway if you want to. But I made some really good points. Okay, so go watch for that. Actually, you don't need to do that either because I'm about to make these same points right now. Basically, the point that I kind of made in the video is, you know, and I said it straight out, and I was being very honest. If we didn't have a YouTube channel that I'd already bought, if I was a collector, okay, and I'm not doing a YouTube video and putting content behind it, and yes, we do like opening packs, but I'm also not like a complete moron. I'm a partial moron most of the time, but not a complete moron. You know, we bought $180 in packs. So we had 6 premium packs. Me looking at a drop like this, and really this is what I've been doing with the last several drops now. We don't open the packs immediately, and some people like to just rip right in. But in this situation, when I seen what the secondary market looked like right away, like for me, I could, and I said it in the video, we could have picked up one of everything, the Grail, not the Mythic, but the Grail and the 3 legendaries for $190. I bought $180 worth of packs. Spoiler alert, we didn't pull every single legendary and Grail. So, you know, I think when you look at it like that, you really, and me and Josh have said it, and John might have said this as well, but I know that we've said it before. Without that Grail being a $200, $300, $400 Grail, the NFT packs will never make sense for somebody to buy 5, 6, 7, 10 packs. For me, you know, just looking at somebody just kind of doing the math, it's really not going to make a whole lot of sense, especially when you're talking, you kind of know now where the epics are going to come in at. With 10 epics, you knew that these were going to be a little bit lower, all under $5. So you're talking, even for the royalty, you're talking maybe $50 for the royalty. You know, all in, you could have one of everything for probably around $225 to $240 for this set. It's not going to make sense to buy a crazy amount of packs on stuff like this. So, you know, I think it was partially that. I think that a lot of people bought the packs. Now that you could see the packs are going for under retail because they're kind of looking at it the same way that I did, that you could just pick these up. You don't need to open the packs and take the risk unless you really are just a junkie and want to pull 2 or 3 Grails or something like that, because really that's what needs to happen. But I think it was the right time for them to do a holiday drop. I think that this made the most sense. But with that being said, I think it's been tough on people this year. I think the economy in general, and if we're just being honest, like it really probably wasn't a great year for most people. And then you're backing it up to all this other stuff that's going on. I'm not going to bring up politics, but an election that, you know, you're getting a change over there. It's just so many things.
It was in our face. I think
it really, you know what I'm saying? There were so many things.
Like, unless you really unplugged yourself from your phone, your TV. I mean, even if you go to work, people are talking in the cubicles and at desks and stuff. So it was just, we live in we live in a world now where if there's something going on, even if you don't care about it or if you try to ignore it, like the world will put it in your face. And that's, I think, very frustrating. And I can understand why a lot of people just kind of, like, some people have reached out to us and said, hey, I just stopped watching YouTube. I don't not like Funko, or I don't not like your videos anymore. It's just I had to stop watching YouTube because I couldn't handle the stress of the election and politics and
yeah.
And the other thing too is, and I think somebody mentioned it before, talking about the new Superman trailer, which I'm very excited for, by the way, and I'm sure we'll touch on that later. But I think the whole like dynamic behind like movies now has completely changed. Like it's like, you know, the lead up to the movie is like bah, 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 bah. It's like in your face. Movie comes out and then you never hear about it again. They just move on to the next movie, the next movie. It's just like it's so much marketing that it definitely like I don't know, like I'm tired out of seeing certain things, so I can understand why people, hopefully things change next year. That's all. Hopefully things change in certain ways without going into too much detail.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the great thing about YouTube, though, is you can get away from a lot of that other stuff, though, too. Like, a lot of people use YouTube for getting away from all the other nonsense that's going on, or, or just decompressing or having a laugh or whatever you want to watch. I think that's why we always try to put out, like, fun content and, content like that just, that's a good time. We have a good time making it. And then you guys hopefully have a good time watching it. I think that's always fun. I did put it in the chat. If you didn't see, if we get 80 likes, I think we're at 40 now. If we get 80 likes, I'll crack open a couple packs. I'm not going to sell them because they're going to go for below retail. So why sell them? So I'm going to crack them open. I just held on to 4 extra packs that were beyond what I opened for a video. I think our video is going to come out on Saturday because I already had videos for this week done, so I'm gonna put out on Saturday our opening. But I grabbed a mythic pack afterwards, like after the drop and everything like that settled, and I told Vince, I mean, $150, you can't really beat grabbing a mythic pack at that price.
Mythic pack was 150 right before we went live, and if you wanted just the mythic was 120 on drop.
See, you might as well buy the pack because then you get what.
You get 2 packs free.
30, you get pretty much two premium packs almost free.
So. 2 premium pack. Yeah, I mean you're getting 30 cards, so almost 2 full premium packs for, it's definitely I'd get the pack too if you're gonna do either.
So I think, but I think like a lot of drops I kind of look at too is like, do you want to open packs? Do you want to pull? And it's all about. When the legendaries are going for $25 or $30, it's probably worth opening packs. Like epics are $10 or something like that. Great example of some of them. That are worth.
You can make your money back if you get a couple epics.
You get a couple epics. You even get close to it at least. But it does without a grail hitting a grail. You can especially if you buy like kind of what we do. I know. Vince buys like 6 or plus, or maybe a couple standards too, or something like that. And I usually buy 4 to 8 premium, and then I'll buy like some standards too, anywhere from 6 to 12 standard kind of packs, and open those. And without hitting a grail, that's where you lose out. Like if you hit that grail, you're probably pretty good. If you hit a couple other legendaries, get some epics, you're almost done with a set, maybe onto a second set with a couple extra cards and things like that, those kind of things. But man, you can lose out as well too.
Yeah, I mean, typically we either go way over or we go way under. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very rarely do we just kind of break even. We usually crash and burn pretty hard, or we do, really well.
It also shows you who's buying who's really going after the mythic packs. I mean, you could see it on the drop as well. The drop, soon as the mythic pack sold out, everything became like almost instant get in. Like, like people are just flipping the mythics, but I think it almost hurt unless they got lucky and sold them right away. Those people that sold them maybe right away, maybe got some, but people that held on to them for a little while, if you didn't, you're not making much off them because of the fees they take off and that, unless you really need the USDC or the wax or something like that, and you can't get it any other way than selling a pack. You're not making much. You're almost going to lose money off of selling them for $50, $150, like that kind of thing. So
I think people are just, I think they're definitely getting smarter, and, there's no sense of urgency to get something right away. I mean, it pays to wait. And I think the other big thing that a lot of people are frustrated with is the length of time it takes for these pops to arrive in hand. Like, we live in a very, fast moving world where you order something from Amazon and it could literally be there same day if you select that, option for shipping. And it's like, I've heard Joanna, something, if it doesn't come in 2 days, she's like, where is it? Is it lost? Like, what happened? I'm like, it's only 2 days. Like, just give it a minute. It'll be here.
I mean, I like that you have a kind of a time to also get these and open packs and get your royalties and extra things. Because sometimes I'll just be like, I'll go buy a pack. I want to open a pack. It's just kind of like, so it's just like going to buy a pack of baseball cards or basketball cards or anything like that, right? Like sometimes you just want to buy one pack and open it for fun and see what you get. And that's what I'll do with the NFTs as well. Luckily, I don't have to store them all in my house and like those kind of things of the cards too. But, you have your good days, you have your bad days of what you hit and things like that. But I like doing that every once in a while because sometimes you buy one pack and you get lucky, you pull 2 legendaries and a grail in one pack, and it's crazy. Or
seen that happen to somebody before, Josh.
Yeah, I know. And some people open the turtle packs and score no grails at all.
I've seen that happen before too, Josh.
Score both grails in one pack, or a grail and a legendary and epics, and turtle packs went down to almost $50 too. So they went down to like $50 before they ended. I grabbed 1 or 2 more to see if I could try. I didn't get the grail.
No grail?
Never got the grail. Never got the grail. Got another legendary, but didn't get the grail. And I finished. But I will say, I did finish a couple royalties because that Freddy, I think it's going to be an expensive Freddy down.
One of my favorites this year.
One. Yeah.
And if you want to go grab it, it's actually not at a bad price to grab the coin. So if you have,
what was the coin at? Because I've noticed a couple times that
coins almost below what you could buy everything for and get.
See, like, Josh, that's what Universal Monsters was that way. All of the Universal Monsters epics were $10 plus, but then the coin was only like $50.
Coin is $75.99 right now. So if you want that Freddy Funko's Krang for $76, free shipping.
Not bad.
Go get it now because it's not going to be $76 free shipping when it releases in a few months. So because I think it's going to be at least over $100 Freddy, at least, if not more.
Well, kind of like capping this off, like can we move into like talking about how we felt 2024 went for Funko and some changes we'd like to see moving into the new year? Because overall, I think they didn't have a bad year, but I don't think it was their best year, and I definitely would like to see certain changes made. So I guess let's start. Like
you start, John. Go ahead and start. Right. What did you not like?
What do I? Okay, so we'll start with the negative stuff.
Okay. Get the negative out of the way, and then we're gonna punch with the positive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
let's pile on all the negativity, and we get that out of our systems first.
And everybody in the chat, I want to see what everybody in the chat thinks.
I do too. No, I do too.
I guess the biggest thing for me as a collector, I'll kind of take my content creator side out of it. So for me as a collector, 2 things kind of stand out. Lack of communication from the company during a pretty critical transitional period for them. Like obviously, some big people left. There's new leadership. I kind of was hoping to see like like I'll give you a great example too. Like I have car insurance through USAA. USAA sends out an annual report email once a year, and they tell everybody, no, it's very vague, and there's like stuff that it's just very brushed over. It's not very detailed, right? But they just say like, hey, we brought in X amount of people, and because we brought in X amount of people, like usually we get like a $20 to $50 credit towards our next insurance bill, because they're like, hey, we noticed you're a good driver and you're one of X number of good drivers, and because we've had a good year, we're extending a little credit to you as a thank you for being part of the USA family, right? It would be cool if like Funko did. I think Funko should do that, because on a quarterly basis, I don't think it should be like a once a year thing. And I really think that the new CEO needs to come out and interact with the community a little bit more. And I've seen her interact with other companies. Like I've seen her, with pictures of higher ups people at like Mattel and stuff. And it's like, okay, like I'm glad that she's working, or she's, communicating with other companies, but I really think it's important that she communicates with the fans, because the fans at the end of the day, like we are the customer base. We're the ones keeping the lights on. We're the ones technically paying her salary at the end of the day. So I kind of feel like they should really be a little bit more open and transparent with us. The other thing that I will say is I think that overall, the con exclusives for me, for the lines that I collect, primarily Marvel, DC, Star Wars, were kind of lackluster. And I would like to see new characters, like interesting molds, unique variants kind of be the standard again for con pops, and not just like, oh, this character that we've done 50 times is now going to be done again for New York.
You know what I think the issue is starting to become, though? I think the issue is starting to become they put out so much each year to bring out something fresh. And I know, listen, we can probably name a couple Star Wars things that.
For Star Wars, you can maybe make that argument for some other universes,
right?
But you cannot with Star Wars, 100%.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
there's
if I go back,
much fresh faces and characters that they haven't even touched. I do not give them.
Will they sell though? That is the question for them.
Yes,
I think
they will.
There's been plenty of characters with Star Wars that are worth nothing, and they're unique characters, and they're worth nothing. And I don't know if they'll sell. That's the hard thing. Like,
Asajj Ventress at New York Comic Con would have sold better than Kylo Ren.
But there's plenty other characters so they released this year. They could have swapped.
Yes.
What you're saying, but
maybe holographic Darth Maul should have been a San Diego Comic Con exclusive.
But could they make more off of it, selling it to a bunch of retailers?
It doesn't matter. They have to look at it differently. Like, even if even if down the road they go, hey, if we would have sold holographic Darth Maul and made $10,000 less or $100,000 less, if had it been a con exclusive, it's the simple fact that when you are a company on this big, massive con floor, Javits Center, New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, C2E2, wherever you are, you go, when as a regular person, you go to one of these cons and you're going to these booths and you see, Funko and Loungefly and all these other companies, right? At a con, that should be when you showcase the best of what you have to offer. And it shouldn't just be like someone walking up to the booth and go, don't they already make a lot of Kylo Ren pops? I saw one in Target the other day. It should be like, no, why are all these people standing in line? They're standing in line because they're trying to get a figure that's never been made before of a character or such a unique variant that they have to be there.
You know what I think the problem with that, though, is, and I think that I agree with you in theory. I think the problem is right now, especially with, not that you're wrong, but I think that the problem is what you just said. The people that are standing in line are not trying to get a figure that's unique. They're trying to get a figure that they can flip for twice the amount. And unfortunately, most of those lines are not collectors. It is that way now, especially over the last couple of years. I can't speak to prior to 2019, but I know for the last several years now, I think that they are going to have to start getting to a point, which I don't want to see, they might need to start getting to a point where, because what you said is right, John. Like, that Darth Maul should have been like a NYCC mold, or it should have been an SDCC mold, because it's that good. But I think what Josh said is the more writer thing, because they wanted to make more money and not put a limit on it, and that they can restock for the next 5 years if they want to restock it for the next 5 years. So instead of using it as the best of the best, they know they can sell these Kylo Rens. People bought them up at the booth. Now, did they sit? Because was that exclusive to Target? I don't remember. I feel like I saw it at Target or something like that. And they're going to dump some of these. I don't know what they're doing as far as like production numbers. If they're starting to, I think that they're going to start curtailing that a little bit, because
we were told, at least with certain figures, not the anime ones, obviously, but we were told with certain lines at the cons, they've already started to cut back, which at least is good. I don't have hardcore, like, I couldn't tell you like, oh, they did 30,000 last year for New York Comic Con. They only did 25,000 this year. But we were told by a very reliable source that they cut back a little bit,
Yeah. And see, I think that'll, listen, I think that if they want to stay at the level that they're saying, that they've been at, they need to do that. I think that they do need to bring out the best of the best, but I think that unfortunately, they got to get those lines not fill up in 2 seconds, or have people spend hundreds of dollars to stand in the lines. And maybe it's got to go through kind of that cycle. I'd be curious to see NYCC and SDCC this year to see if it falls lower than where it was last year, or are we going to did we plateau here kind of at a bottom point, and maybe it's going to sit like this for a little while.
What do you mean, like numbers wise?
I'm talking overall. I mean, you could get the sense from like, if we're being honest, I mean, I could tell by all of the numbers for just in YouTube surge. Like you could see it just with our numbers and everybody. I see Mason just come in here as well, and he might be able to, say the same thing. Numbers are down for Funko in general, interest wise. Yeah. Doesn't mean that it'll stay here, doesn't, because it used to not be anywhere near here before either.
I mean, I can't say this. I agree with you 100%. The interest is definitely lower than it was, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. But people are definitely I can speak to New York Comic Con because I was there, and that line was packed from Thursday at open to Sunday at close. So
see, but
now is that the interest to flip and not the interest?
Yes, that's what I want to find out. Right. Yeah. And see, I think if the interest is not to flip and we get true collectors in there, I still think they'll sell out in 2 seconds. But the difference will be is it'll go back to the heyday when people brought home their con pops. They weren't selling them right away, which also didn't flood the market right away with all this con stuff. That also kind of drove, it was easy. It was easier to get them for NYCC this year than it was last year. Like I picked up some of the limited, like I got the Gary V pop behind me. What I picked that up for, I could not even believe. And again,
that was crazy. So the Gary V pop was almost untouchable at the con, but that was a pop, man. Like 2 days later, like after the con was over, nobody cared. That was definitely. But I think that attributed to the fact that the V Friends booth, so Gary V's booth, was about, I don't know, 150 feet away from Funko. So you could literally go, in theory, get that pop if you had a time slot or buy it from somebody on Flipper Row and then go over. And Gary V signed hundreds of them out of the thousands. So I think that was like, and not even like a seasonal pop. That was just like a in the moment pop. Like, oh, he's right there. Like even if his booth was like on the opposite sides of the Javits Center, that would have affected the value of what it was trading for on the con floor. But because his booth was literally, it was like Funko, Loungefly, $7 a pop, V Friends right there. Like it was like, that's his pop. And he also did a lot of appearances with Funko on social media throughout the weekend, signing those pops, holding the pop, promoting the pop.
I've seen a lot of people get them signed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, long story short, I think, I think that we got to get to a point where there are more collectors. And again, it's not that I have a negativity towards flipping. What it is that I want Funko to do what you said, Jen. I want them to put the best of the best in the cons again. And I think they're holding some of that best of the best for something that they can sell on the masses versus something they can sell in the limited. So until more of those, non-flipper people, and again, this isn't a not flipper thing, because I think it's good when the line's got to fill up with flippers. That means that you got a really desired product that people want to flip it.
You have a strong aftermarket,
right? But if you're getting those collectors in those lines, Funko's not looking. I think it just changes the perspective a little bit, and that's what I'm hoping. Hoping that we. If we're at that floor, maybe we start seeing that kind of get back in again, and then it builds up from there.
It ebbs and flows for sure, but I definitely think that if they are trying to be greedy, and like that holographic Darth Maul release is like a perfect example. If they were really sitting around the table and they go, hey, if we make this a Hot Topic exclusive, we can literally sell 250,000 of these. But if we make it a New York Comic Con exclusive, we can only sell like 20,000, right? Obviously, as a company, as a business decision, that's releasing a pop that the original version goes for $6,000, which I firmly believe that in the last 18 months, they are heavily paying attention to the aftermarket with Star Wars, which is even more of a reason why I am extremely critical of them and going, hey, if you are paying attention to the value of Captain Rex, you made a new Captain Rex. You are paying attention to holographic Darth Maul, you made a new Darth Maul. Why are you not understanding how hardcore Star Wars fans are and that they are willing to throw down for the characters that they know and love? So make some other characters that they love that haven't been done before. I mean,
don't you wish we could like get the insight on that? Don't you wish you knew if it is that Funko that's not letting them do that?
And the other thing that I know somebody in the chat right now is thinking right now, I know somebody's going to say it. They're probably already typing it out, that Disney has too much of a stronghold on Funko. That is 100% false, because other companies have the freedoms to make other characters that Funko hasn't made. So now I'm pointing the finger at Funko and going, no, it's somebody at Funko who doesn't want to like be creative with Star Wars. Like, why are there some GameStop exclusives that are better than some of the con pops that we've gotten in the last 2 years? Like, come on, like they need to do better. Like, they definitely need to do better. But here's the point I was getting at with the holographic Darth Maul. So if somebody goes, hey, we can sell 250,000 units of the holographic Darth Maul, as opposed to let's just get out this Kylo Ren, whatever, because we need contractually, you know, we have to put a Star Wars pop for New York Comic Con. Here's the thing they don't understand. If somebody stands in line, or hey, you know what? So let's just say you have to work, right? You can't go to New York Comic Con, but you really want that holographic Darth Maul. In my hypothetical situation right here, is a New York Comic Con exclusive, right? You're at work, you're on your phone, you go on Whatnot, you go on Macari, you go on eBay, you go on wherever, and you pay, you know, flipper prices for that pop because you didn't go to the con, you didn't stand in line, you didn't buy the pop. You pay $200 for that con sticker holographic Darth Maul. That is something that you are proud of. You have that in your collection. And what Funko needs to understand is that they will make more money in the long run because you then have somebody who is proud of the purchase they just made. They're a diehard Star Wars fan, or even they're like a mid-level Star Wars fan. They will go out and they will buy those other characters, the mid-level meh characters, to surround that holographic Darth Maul pop with. If they just go to their local GameStop and they just buy that really cool pop, in their mind, they're like, oh, Funko releases these cool pops all the time. All I have to do is go to Hot Topic. When you put something behind the wall of a Comic-Con, you inherently give it more like pristine value. Like, wow, this was exclusive to an event. I want to go out and get the other characters. So that's why they need to put the best of the best at these events. They need to put the good things behind the NFT wall. You need to make people work for it and let them go out and buy the easy stuff at the Target and the Walmart and the stuff that isn't going to draw in much hype anyway, but they're contractually obligated to put out those characters. And that's what I feel like you need to allow people to build collections. Don't just put something out to get somebody's quick $15.
It's fair. Okay, what about the positive?
Now,
positives?
Beyond that, though, they did do a good job, I would say, you know, with a lot of other genres for the con pops. Saw a lot of great con pops, a lot more limited pops. We got more Funko pops, which actually I grabbed at a much better deal right at the con, during the con, on Whatnot, than afterwards now in that market, because I knew those pops would probably
which is crazy, but you're right.
I think also, you know, they did put out a limited Marvel one, even though it came with a backpack, but we got a Wolverine that was a limited piece. You got a Deadpool that was a limited con pop, at least the numbers on the con version, something unique. But they had a lot of great anime pops. They had a lot of television show, really good ones like Dream from Sandman. Some of the other ones that came
Animal
out.
was good. Flocked Animal, that was good.
The Animal Flocked was good. But even looking at, like, I think what they're going to run into is they either need to put more like they did for New York Comic Con. They maybe don't do it for SDCC because of fun days, I think, a little bit, and also putting out the box. Maybe that's why they don't put out as many limited pieces during that time. But they had a couple. They had, you know, some Franny, Freddy, Proto, some other things like that came out. I think it's going to be hard for them. I'm curious of what cons are going to this year. I wish they would announce a list because a lot of cons are open for tickets already now.
And now is like the best time. We already booked our hotels for next year for the places that we want to go, because now is the time, because hotels skyrocket. Like, but speaking of fun days, I think Mason mentioned something about fun days. I will just say this: they still need to do fun days. Like, they need to figure out, even if they don't call it fun days, like even if they want to rebrand it, because that was like Mike Becker's thing or whatever, like fun days is such a critical thing in the community, and I know a lot of people like fight tooth and nail to go every year, and I just think that even if it's different from what we've seen in years past, they still need to have that exclusive Funko party at San Diego Comic-Con. Otherwise it's not going to be as exciting. Like, that's not to say that maybe they take those really exclusive items that they were going to release at Fun Days or give at Fun Days, and maybe they just make them San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. But I think you need to keep that community like event alive.
Do you think they would not do the at-home boxes if they don't do a fun days?
I don't know. I don't know what.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder that would be. That would be.
Really,
yeah, I'd
those
be
are
curious
easy
to
money
see
for
how
them.
the year will play out as far as because this is our first really. It's our first year without Mike Becker around to kind of head that stuff up. And what would they do it still? Yeah, it's. I'm interested to see how that goes.
I think I'd love to still see them figure out a better way to lock down fun days from reselling tickets and flipping tickets and all these kind of things. Like whoever buys them is the person going, and that's it. Like there is none of this like you can bring a friend if you want to have your friend be a flipper and go with you, but whoever buys them has to get them. I hate this idea of being able to resell them or flip them, or hey, if then nothing else, you can cancel and someone else can get the next person in line, can get them or something like that or whatever. But some better way to do that. There's plenty of events that do those kind of things that don't let you do that. So I'd love for them to kind of lock that down a little better. But you never know with all the stuff they're going on. I think one thing they did do really well this year overall is actually their sales on their online platform for Funko.com. I think they had good sales. They had some unique, fun things going on. They had some good Funko drops that several of them sold out throughout the year and things like that. They did better with their probably numbers and production stuff for their direct to market, which that is one thing they did say at several times during any of the stock kind of talks. I'm sure Pop Yourself has done well for them.
Yeah, they listed in their, at least I read their Q3 report. They said Pop Yourself was one of the most profitable areas. And I mean, you see it. I'm sure you guys have, we are all Funko collectors, right? So our YouTube algorithm is tuned to Funko. I'll be literally watching a Funko video and then the ad that pops up is like a Pop Yourself ad. And I'm like, I know, like I collect Funko. Thanks, ad. Like I know about it.
I mean, I think that continues to be one of my best videos of the year. Like it continues to keep getting people coming back to it. The one we did when it originally came out. I think they just did a good job with it's not marketed just to Funko collectors. That's the nice thing about it. It's like one of those things that's unique for everyone. And one of those things that brought people to the Funko website that may have never been there before too, as well. So because we talked about it, I think early on, like all of us early on as collectors didn't really know about FunkoShop.com. We just buy our Funkos at Barnes & Noble or Target or wherever you went, Toys R Us at that time and stuff like that. You'd find Funko Pop's a comic book store and that, but I didn't go like Funko Shop and go find at Funko.com, and find stuff. So I think those kind of things is the more they can get that market out there. And then also once you sign up for something like that, a lot of times you're clicking to say, hey, we'll get advertisements or send you something, email of this dropping or this going on, or you sign up for fan rewards or whatever, like those kind of things. So
yeah, I mean, if there was a couple things that I could change, like, and we've talked about it over the last couple months and whatever, but a couple things I'd love to see happen going into 2025, and especially with Funko.com, like they need to do some of those limited piece drops again. Do a 5,000 piece or a 3,000 piece. They don't have to do something like ridiculous. Like the Bam Bam and Pebbles back in the days. I think that they were maybe an 8,000 piece, or Scrappy Doo was maybe a 5,000 piece or something like that. But I'd like to see them drop multiples of those, even if it was just once a month. Like come up with 12 pops that you could do something like that. It doesn't have to be mega low, but like in the $5,000 to $8,000 or 8,000 piece range.
I think they should do some low stuff, because I think that, and I agree with that 100%. I also think they need to do some of those that you can only get if you spend a certain amount on.
I'm fine with those too.
And I know some people will be upset because they'll be like, oh, I already have, everything that I want from the website. However, like you have to give incentive to move some product that maybe you wouldn't move. And I think as a collector, you can always find something on the website. Like there's been times on the website where like I had all the Star Wars pops, I had all the sodas, like I didn't really need anything. And we'd venture on over to like pocket pops and bitty pops and apparel, like there's actually a lot of stuff on that website. And I just feel like as a company, from a business perspective, like, put something good in it for me, and I'll fork out, $75, $100, $150 to get that cool limited.
I think if whenever they do something like that, though, they 100% should do it with a limited piece, because what I don't want to ever happen again is what like they did with the Venom, that then they just started selling it like straight out, and then you saw it go to the discount stores too. Like, I don't think that that's ever a way that they should entice people to put it in a mystery box and then change that at some point that you could get it in a different way. That I'd like to never see again. Another thing I'd never want to see again is I hated that they restocked the Target exclusive stuff. That was especially, I'll go back to the Sonic one, the Tails, the Flock Tails. To see the 2021 or 2022 sticker on a pop that's released in
great.
That's just not like, that's ridiculous. As far as I'm concerned, that's ridiculous. Like, I'd like to get them away from that. And also, I hate that I'm okay with them if they don't, once they vault something, like they have to make that sacred again. I don't think it was ever sacred with them, because they've always kind of skirted that as far as I'm concerned. But I'd like to get them for us. I get that they're a massive company that is trying to appeal to everybody now, but to us collectors that have been kind of tried and true, if they want to give us a little bit of a carrot on a stick, or whatever the expression is, I don't think it's carrot on a stick. It's late right now, but basically what I'm trying to, the olive branch, maybe an olive branch. I don't even think that's the right one for this particular thing. But when you vault something, like, vault it. And then I do not think that they should ever restock anything that's Funko Shop exclusive. Make those special. That should not be something that restocks time and time again. You want to restock other stuff that goes to Hot Topic. It's always been that way. Like Hot Topic just restocked a bunch of old stuff, but they've always done that ever since I've been collecting, since 2019. Hot Topic's always done that. But when they vault stuff, their stuff usually goes pretty high up, because once it's vaulted, it's vaulted. So, and they usually stay vaulted.
But they're not the only company that does that. And I'm not trying to say like,
no. I get that. I get that.
Other companies do that now too, because they realize something's popular and they're just like, you know what, we're just going to remake it, and we're going to make more of them, and we're going to make money that way because we know people like it, and that sucks.
Right. And listen, again, I get it. I just think that there should be certain principles, and whatever those principles, listen, if their principle is we're just restocking anything that sells, that's fine. It's just you're gonna get less and less of the hardcore collector, and maybe they don't care about that. I don't know. Maybe they don't.
I think they should, because I think
that obviously I think that they should, because we're talking to three of them right now, and a bunch of people in the chat as well. But
I think I think the decision, whoever was deciding to try to like pivot the company into being like a toy company, I think we've already seen them kind of like pull back on that. And I think they've already realized, or I hope they've realized, that is like one of the worst decisions they can do. If they want to be a toy company, like, you really need to, like,
I think they can have both
with Brian and start a different company. Like, that's not what this company is all about.
But John, I think they can have both. I really do think that they could have both.
I think they can have both, but not with Pops.
What do you mean not with Pops?
I think that the standard Funko Pop needs to be looked at as a collectible, whereas if you want to treat like biddies or pocket pops or other things like that, those like smaller, cheaper items, where those appeal to a more non-collector person, like mystery minis.
Yeah, I think Pops are. I mean, I completely disagree. Which
that's okay.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I mean, that's how we all got started with actually buying them. They're affordable. They're not collectibles. Like, I'm sorry, even Black Series, like Star Wars figures, they're not sold as collectibles. They're sold as toys, Right.
And no, I know they're branded as toys. I just feel like they need to be looked at more as a collectible.
Well, you know what it is.
I don't think they would make it as a company if they did that.
I think what they could do. Listen, I think it's great what they did with the NFTs. I love that we get those limited things. They also have to understand there is a lot of people. There's not a huge segment. If you really break it down and you look how many wallets are containing this stuff, you're not talking like 10. I don't even think it's in the tens of thousands. I think it's way less than that. We can look this up at some point. We won't do it tonight, and I won't get too far into it, but it's such a small section of the collective community, and it's great, but there should be something else. I think that the Funko Shop exclusives, I think that if they did some of those, there should be access to more people for some of that limited stuff. I'm fine with Funko trading common runs and even like some of the Hot Topic stuff and the Target stuff. Treat this as toys. I get that. Like, and that's okay. Like, that's okay that you could pick stuff up, because I think it's a gateway into harder core collecting the older stuff, the vaulted stuff. But I think that why I'm saying they can have both. They can 100% still treat this as a big, gigantic toy company that they're selling, to all these retailers and doing that, and even on their website, but also have some sacred stuff on their website that once it sells out, it's vaulted. We're going to do some limited runs during the year, even if it's like I said, once a month or twice a month, just because the amount, like that Scarlet Spider that came out the other day. Cool pop, like no interest in. I have no interest in picking it up. Nothing. There's been other exclusives as well. No interest in picking up right now, because why am I gonna, like, what is my incentive to go pick up? It's not even our first. I think it was the Scarlet Spider. It was it not? And it's not our first one.
It was Scarlet Spider. I think it was.
Yeah, we're going into like Scarlet Spider, and there's like 3 $20.99 Spider-Mans, and we're talking multiples of so many different things.
And Spider characters, and that's they've done almost every single, not every single, but they've done a lot of.
So why couldn't this one be a 8,000 piece? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now people are like, wow, I might want to go pick this up now and not wait till it goes on sale for $750. Because honestly, now, especially the way that the last year and a half has gone with the site, like I'm waiting for the 50% off sale now. Like what is my incentive to go do that? They need to just do some of that, because if I'm on the site and I'm going to buy a Scarlet Spider that's an 8,000 piece, and I want to pick something else up now because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this too. And then you see a couple commons on there that maybe you want to throw it, because that's usually the way I purchase. I think that they can have it both ways. I think they can have it where they appeal to the masses. They got all the biddies and all that other stuff that I think that's great. I like that. I even like that, some of that stuff, not all of it, but some of that stuff as well. Let that go to the masses, but then have our Funko Shop drops be special again, because they're not at all anymore, especially when they restocked everything.
Sam and Dean gone. Like they
both a few stuff has sold out, but they're from lines that I feel like aren't really oversaturated, so that's why they were able to do well on the drops. But no, I agree with that, Vince. I just think that they need, like, so a lot of people that we've seen throughout the years, like Funko is like the first big collectible that they go all in on, right? And then they have fun with it for a few years. Obviously, some people love it and they stick around, or they have stuck around because they really enjoy this hobby. And I think that Funko is in a unique position where they can offer literally something from more IPs in the world, because they have all the licenses locked up, is the fact that they can offer you a pretty nice collectible for not that much money.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is something that it's something that a lot of other companies are struggling with as their costs have gone up. They've had to raise their prices significantly. Now Funko has raised their prices a little bit, but overall, for the most part, like a pop has not increased that much. Even in 2010, they were $8.95, and here we are in 2024.
Well, and I feel like the quality has gone up. Like,
quality has gone up a lot
immensely.
And you're paying about the same, especially if you wait for those 50% off sales, you're getting a pop for $7.50. Like, that is crazy. So I just feel like if Funko wants to look at it from a more collectible aspect, understand the lifespan of a Funko collector, because on average, 3 years is the average lifespan of a Funko collector before they move on to something else or just decide that Funko is no longer for them. So how do you keep that person at the 2 to 3 year mark interested? I feel like you have to give them opportunities to level up in their collecting game. And how do you level up in the collecting game? You start giving them opportunities to go after more limited pieces, things that are harder to get. Because I feel like when people feel like that everything is just kind of easy for them to get, and certain things will never be easy to get. I mean, if you want to go back and try to get like 24-piece Freddy's from 2013, 2014 for a reasonable price, you're not going to do it. But if you're not into that kind of stuff, and you get bored and you don't have the challenges of getting something that you want, then you're going to move on to another hobby, because I feel like we as humans, we want to continue to have that challenge. And I feel like collectors especially, like, it's fun when something is a little bit harder to get.
Yeah, like I said, we got to get back. It's not going to be with just general releases anymore, because like stuff that I remember, like the Venom, the Blacklight, Ghost Rider was something that sold out immediately. Like you could start some of the Myth Pops sold out immediately. Like you could go through some of those, now I think that they can get some of that excitement, that it kind of takes that next level up. You get the end, because there's an arc to collecting. I mean, I remember when I started, like you buy your first couple pops. I didn't spend like $20 or $30 on a pop for probably the first 8 months that I was collecting. Do you know what I'm saying? You want to get that stuff for retail. Now you don't have as many opportunities to pick up something for retail that's going to be worth $30 in the first month or two. You know what I mean? But if you're
also okay for the most part.
No, I think that is okay. But I also think that if somebody's coming new into the collecting world, and they could pick up a pop on the Funko drops a pop, a 2,500 piece. That's not a con pop. I love that they do the con stuff, but those are only available to the people that go to the cons, that they're doing a 1,000 piece, 1,500 piece. But if they start doing those drops every once in a while on their website, it's going to just bring a lot of excitement. It would be something that they would add a lot of fun for people to pick up a limited piece pop that might be their first limited piece pop that they're able to add to their collection. Do you know what I'm saying? Because new collectors want to get that excitement. I remember the first time that I really had this like aha moment is I found I think I might have told this story before. I found a Kane. It was a WWE. It was a 2017 pop that I found in 2019, still sitting on a Walgreens shelf. I remember I liked Kane back in the day. I remember buying that thing and finding out that it was worth, like, I don't know, at the time it was worth $40. It was still on the shelf for retail.
I think it still is. We had one the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, these things actually hold value. I didn't realize that for the first 6 to 8 months. Now, if you're today, like, where are you going to have that same kind of like, oh, wow, this is worth this much? You can get it because some things kind of get inflated by PPG, and just because there's a few sales that make it look like whatever. But you know what I'm saying? If we want a legit way to do it, you put some limited piece stuff that is available to everybody, and you have that. And some people are going to get really ticked off when they can't get it. But I'd love to go back to the days that we have some of that. I think that would be fun again for the community.
So I want to bring up something I saw a lot recently in the chat, and it talked about unvaulting pops. Now, I don't know of any pops that have been unvaulted. I mean, if you can give me perfect examples, I'd love to know. But all the pops that I know they re-released are re-released. They've never been vaulted. I don't think Funko's been unvaulting pops like I think a lot of people think. They just re-release them that have never been vaulted. There's a difference between the two.
There was a handful that now recently
though, in the last year, 2 years,
not in the last couple of years that I know.
Yeah.
I think that where it gets a little bit confusing is Funko Shop drops have always, when they sold out, they've never restocked them.
Yeah.
Not anything that I ever remember. I never remember a restock of a Funko Pop, or I'm sorry, a Funko Shop pop. I just don't. And when they brought out that gigantic wave, which I benefited from, I benefited from, and I still hate it. You know what I mean? I got a lot of one-piece pops and a couple chases that I never was able to get. I still, and I said it before, I don't like that. Just as a theory, just in general, I don't like that they should just be vaulted once they sell out of their first run for Funko Shop stuff. Just in my opinion.
I got two things I would like to see in 2025. One of them, Project Fred to go bye-bye. Like Project Fred.
We might get that.
I totally forgot that was a thing.
Why
I did too.
I haven't heard anything about Project Fred
Hopefully
lately.
it already died. We'll have to talk about it.
I think they just executed it really bad.
Before you say your next thing, we got to recognize Bruce's comment. Bruce, thank you so much. He wants to wish all three of us and our families a Merry Christmas. He says, you guys have brought so much joy to the Funko family. I watch all three of your videos, and I've learned to continue to learn. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
And then I guess my second one is I want to know what's going on with Sodas 2025.
Actually, I wrote the same thing down.
I would like.
I want to know. I want to know one way or another. Are you taking a hiatus on them? Are you stopping them? Are you only doing them for special certain events or exclusives to certain retailers? Are you going to put the chase sticker on the outside like the Hot Topic art drop? I want to know. I want to know, Funko, what's going on with Sodas. Come out, let us know what your plan is for Sodas in 2025. For us soda collectors, there's a lot in our community I know that are into it. I know a lot of people just started it too. I get several, and I know probably John gets a lot in his auctions that just started collecting sodas not that long ago too, and going after some of the older ones and different ones. But what's the plan for Sodas in 2025? We heard they changed manufacturers, what they're doing, the POG kind of changed styles, and you can tell
fine if they need to change manufacturers to keep their costs down so it's the same price for us as consumers. So like if we have to sacrifice a little bit of quality to keep getting them, like I'm fine with that. But yeah, 100%. I would love to know what the story is there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see if we got I would love for them to come out and just say, hey, listen, this is what's going, because, especially if you're just starting, like it, depending on how, not knowing that anything else is coming behind it, it's just it will die off for most people because you start to lose interest. Now, I think they're in a spot right now where you're kind of getting caught up, or you can get caught up to, if you're trying to complete a certain line or something like that. But man, it would be great to finally get like an answer if we're going to move forward with these. Are we going to see any more? I'm bummed that I don't think we're going to get any more 3 liters. I legitly, like, I'm looking at my 3 liters right now, and I legitly thought that all of the 3 liters they did were really amazing molds.
It was a cool concept too, and if they were only released one like once every 3 months, like I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, what gives us hope is they did release the Stranger Things cooler. They released the Maui 3 liter this year. Like, so they put out like just enough, almost in a cruel way, to give us like hope. Happy to see the X-Men cooler sold out finally. Like, I do think that there is still a community there, but you got to feed it. You got to feed the community a little bit. You got to give them something. Otherwise, people are not going to be as excited for them. And I mean, I had so much fun finally getting our collection out and putting it on display. Like, I love the sodas, man. I think they're fantastic. I think it's another little product that doesn't cost a lot. It provides excitement with the hunt for the chase. I think they look good, out of can, obviously. So you don't have to worry about some of the issues you have with Pops with needing protectors and stuff. They're easy to transport and store without getting damaged. Like, there's just a lot of things that, you have to worry about with Pops that you don't have to worry about with them, which I think is great.
We saw that Doc Brown proto. We need that Doc Brown to come out for the Back to the Future set. We need the Velma to finally come. That was teased to us. Like, I think if that is any at all true, that if they're taking a hiatus to end of 2025, early 2026, I think that's going to kill the soda market. For them. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it'll kill it if they were to come out and say that. If they were to say like, "Hey, this is the official 2025 plan."
Why?
What would be the point behind that?
maybe if they switch factories and they're figuring stuff out, they had to get licensed characters approved by the IPs. I don't know. 2025 and like a year from now is a long time after the year we just had. So I would have hoped that if they were going to do something, it would at least be mid 2025. Like end of 2025 is a long ways away. So yeah, I mean that's definitely a bummer. I don't think they'll have a hard time. So Funko 401 says, I sadly think they're done. I think the diehard collectors are falling off too fast. It's going to be too hard to get them back. That I disagree with. I think that if they come out of the gate and they drop some fire pieces, like they give us like, you know, a 2,000 piece Toucan Sam, or I don't know, like they just whip out some like crazy cool things, people will come back. Because I mean, you got to think like people jumped into it in the beginning when they're like sodas haven't always existed. They only started in 2020. People gave them a chance in 2020. Like it builds up. So yeah, if they were to drop something, like everyone's not just gonna wake up and go, "Oh, I need that." Like it's just like anything. It just takes time to get people back. But I think if you get people once, you can definitely get them twice.
I think they can. I think it also depends on the way that they do it. I also think it depends on if they put the sticker on the outside or not. Because I'll be honest, and I said it before.
If they do that, that would be the dumbest thing.
I said it before. I really think that. You know, and listen, I'm not taking any credit. Like I said it before, like Jim opening them on YouTube, John opening them on YouTube, Josh opening them on YouTube. You know, we started opening them on YouTube.
Opened up a lot. Mason opened up a bunch.
Mason, and Mason still does. You know, I think that all of that, I think that plays into it. I think part of, you know, that chase roulette. I mean, honestly, like even back in the day when you were able to buy like 5 pops from Hot Topic at a time, I remember doing the chase roulette with that kind of stuff. I think that brings a different kind of excitement. That, man, how do they not see that? But with that being said, I mean, you wait a year, I think it really starts to push, because there are the people that were hardcore collecting, and like you said, Jen, a 3-year cycle, and now you're going to sit a year and a half out. Because if we're at the end of 26, we're talking almost a year and a half in a 3-year cycle. You're halfway through that, and you're going to start collecting sodas again. You're going to start making it tough. You're going to have to bring in new collectors into it that we're not tainted by
which is not difficult. I mean,
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but to get back to like even a resemblance of what they had before, I think it's going to be it's going to be harder than if they were to just start getting this back out there again.
So this is where I disagree. I disagree with you.
Okay, let's
I think they drop something fire tomorrow, people will buy it. And this is why. What happens, and I don't want to talk about them for a long time, but I'm shocked. I am still shocked that so many people jumped into Thrilljoy at the price point that they were offering. But why were people doing it? Because of the thrill of the chase. And I still see people
I agree with
buying them because they're trying to get that chase. So I think the hunt and the pure excitement behind finding something that is rarer than the base common will always exist. And if you can offer it at a $15 to $18 price point, like I'm fine with sodas being 18. If they came out tomorrow and they said, hey, we've got all these sodas lined up, but unfortunately, like $20 is the new retail. Like, yes, 100%. A majority of the community.
I think you're in the minority though.
I could be in the minority
because I'll be honest, I wouldn't pay $20 for them.
You might not pay $20. I mean, I think it just depends on the character, and I wouldn't go above $20. But if that is the difference between and this is all like hypothetical, and
you're right. It does depend on the character too. Yeah, 100%.
Because if they come out with a bunch of like cool Motu sodas, is like $2 or $3 going to stop you from going, I need to try to get that chase?
Damn, you had to go there, huh? You had to. You had to go right to Motu.
But at the same time,
yeah.
But at the same time, and that's why Funko News Canada brings up a great point. That's why they switch factories, and that could be the biggest explanation to say, like, hey, we want to keep the soda price.
Why don't they come out and say that though? Why don't they come out and say that?
I don't know.
Because don't you feel like
you're leaving money on the table by not saying stuff?
That's kind of my point. Like if I knew that in the back of my mind, I know that, like, Listen, I'm gonna start reserving some room. I want to, because you just said Motu, and I'm like looking at my Scooby collection that I'm 100% complete on, my Motu collection that I'm 100% complete on, my Ad Icon collection that I'm 100% complete on. I am a huge soda person. At the same time, yeah, they go to 20. Man, am I buying? Maybe I'm buying 2 at that point. Because I unfortunately, and unfortunately it's about the chase. If they put the sticker on the outside, how am I going to buy more than
Well, that's a different factor in itself. They put the
Man,
chase
it's a
on the
huge.
outside.
Like now, I start really thinking about how big of a factor it
But
is.
that's a deal breaker for me. I'm not buying them if they have
I'm not spending 20 if the sticker's on the outside.
Yeah, I'm not spending 18 if they put the sticker on the outside. That's a deal breaker for me, because
I agree with you.
That's just dumb. Like, it's blind packaging for a reason. Like, that's just straight dumb.
Because you got to kind of look at like any other pack, like the NFT packs. It's the same thing. When I start looking at that, it just starts to not make sense to me. Now, $15 sticker on the outside. Am I going to get one? Why would I'm going to let the other people rip the sodas open? I'm going to go buy the common for $6, right? And then if I got to spend 40 or $50, like there's a point where the return is just not worth what it is. When the sodas started to kind of fall off, again, it was kind of like that grail that we talk about with the NFTs. When the soda chases started to get to like $40 for a chase, like, why are you going to buy 3 sodas when you could just buy? You don't even have to buy the one. You could buy the common off the shelf, and you go buy the soda chase, from somewhere. It just doesn't make sense anymore. So as the prices started going up on the sodas and as the chase prices started coming down, I think that's where, you start to fall into that, not that I wouldn't pick it up, but like, especially if it's on the outside of the can. Now it's like, what's the incentive? What's the point for
chase sticker on the outside of the can? That issue is solid.
Okay, deal breaker. But if it's not on the can or inside the can, maybe they'll throw it in the can. I said they should have done that right from the get-go, but I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, but that's they're not going to coordinate that.
Would I pay? And I said it before, I wouldn't buy sodas at 18. Would I buy it at 18? Yeah, I would definitely get back in, but I think there's a little part of me also, because I have a channel, I would be buying multiples. I might, if I didn't have a channel, I don't know. Maybe I would just try to. It would depend.
I think so. Kind of going circling with the price issue, right? Or price increase, however you want to look at it. I know a lot of people were out or not out, but they were drastically cutting back, and they were upset when the retail went from 15 to 18 on sodas, right? And that was after a year and a half prior, they had gone from 12 to 15. I think if Funko was smart, and I think more companies need to do this, where they kind of need to humble up, and you kind of see and that's where I want to know the numbers. The number, and this is something that we'll never really truly know, but if they were to give a breakdown hypothetically, and they say, hey, all right, we're going to release a 10,000 piece soda. This is how many we sold at $18. We sold 25% of them at $18. We sold 50% of them at $12, and then we had to clearance out the rest at $7.50. Why not just humble up and make the soda back to $12? And you'll probably sell them out much faster, and you'll make all your money quicker. And Funko is not the only company who's been doing this. So it just doesn't make sense to me why, you see all these big sales, right, for multiple toy companies now, right? And it's why not just lower the price back down, instead of, now we have this mindset where people are waiting for a sale because they know that they can get a better deal. So if you were to take that pop at $15 and just make it 12, wouldn't you sell more? But then you have to stop having those big sales and just say, hey, we're going to bring down the price of retail. This is the new price, but don't expect the big 50% off sales anymore.
You know what see, now, how do you put that toothpaste back in the tube, as they say? Do you know what I mean? Now you got people that are starting to get used to that. And now that, Mason said it earlier, now he's been picking them up at Five Below. Now that people are getting used to buying them for $5, now they're going to release them at 15 and 18. People are going to have a hard time doing that. And now what you also run into the problem, you're right, they could do them at 12, but even at 12, I feel like they're going to sit there for. It's not like the good old days, is what I'm going to say. You know, and Michael said it as well. And let me give a shout out to Barry. Barry, thank you for 23 months. One more month, we're at 2 years, my friend. But you know, what you start to worry about a little bit is what are the piece counts going to look like? Are when they come back, are they going to start like they kind of learned with the 3-liters? They were going like crazy, then they already knew or they just pulled them back. They started doing the 5,000 piece. I think sodas like at their max should be 5,000. Like I think the max piece count soda going forward, especially in the market and where we're at now, I think it's got to be 5,000 piece. If they go over that, you know, every once in a while, if they did a Hot Topic exclusive and they go over because they have a store that they're exclusive to that they can do, I think it's different. But when you're trying to sell 5,000 pieces on the Funko shop, that is a lot when you're not talking any kind of retail location as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's going to depend on how they distribute these. But, you know, you do a Hot Topic and you do a great soda like the Terrifier one, man, those sold out. And they sold out pretty quick. And I didn't get any deal. I don't know if you guys got any deals on them. But again, sticker being out this on the outside, I only bought a couple and it wasn't that fun, so I didn't order that many more than that. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be. I'll be curious to see what happens.
And they're not the only ones that are guilty of this. And I just want to see, like, it's just I feel like companies have this thing where it's like, no, we've raised our price in X year, 21, 22, 23, 24. We're not going back. Like this is just the new standard. Whereas, why? Like, and I look at Funko and I just want to be like, you know, you have these good sales sometimes, but wouldn't you want to just sell more things off the get-go? And then you have more influx of people rushing to the site when something does drop and they have to get it for that retail price because it's going to sell out sooner. Like me personally, like I'm all about getting a good deal, but I kind of hate this mindset of people are like, oh, I'll just wait till it's cheaper. And it's just like, no,
I hate it too. I hate that I feel that way, but
it's smart.
It's
smart to save money.
Almost all the coolers I did that with. I mean, I love the coolers and I love opening the different sodas and things like that. But like the new coolers, I knew they were too high. First, it's hard to sell $100 product to a lot of people. And to sell
5,000 of $100 product is even harder.
Yeah. So I think when they start going back to having some regular drops of sodas, some things that are 5,000 pieces that are more popular, or like you said, if they go to the retailers they've worked with since the very beginning, Hot Topic, Box Lunch, maybe Entertainment Earth or FYE or someone like that, you know, like I think Entertainment Earth, Box Lunch. And the nice thing about Entertainment Earth, too, is their distribution company as well, too. So they could get it out if they decide to smaller mom and pop shops and other people that buy from them as a distributor that doesn't buy from Funko because they don't buy enough. So, you know, things like that. I really want to go back and see. I would love to see at some of these other cons and events they have some exclusives to them that don't require a Funko shop. I miss those days where these other places other than like Chalice and Fugitive and some of the bigger like other things had some exclusives and realistically get them to the size where they can go out. But there's some bigger con companies that could probably sell out things if they had a really good exclusive and put it out at their cons. You know, a lot of these cons are owned by several different companies. You know, there's only a few companies out there that really are putting on the majority of the bigger cons too. But I think those would be fun to have some exclusives through them and Funko work with them without having a booth or anything, but have one or two exclusives that are really
You're talking like back in the good old, like when they had the like Rhode Island Comic-Con, like are you talking stuff like that?
Like Rhode Island Comic-Con, but you have all these cons that are through these bigger companies now. They could easily put
like
out
the Hollow Vader through the Dallas. I can't remember the whole
Dallas Comic-Con stuff. All those
has never gotten an exclusive.
Yeah,
I think that would be phenomenal if they did that
stuff
again.
like MegaCon. They have Collecticon that does several cons around the country.
Yeah,
if they had exclusive, they could just keep going, bring it to each different con if they needed to, or they could have one that this is only dropping at this con if it's big enough. If not, they have it for the whole year as they go to the different cons. You can pick it up and get the exclusive whatever. But that's how you get it. We have X so many. Or something like that. Fan Expo, all those, have. I think some of these claim they have exclusives at their fan booths, for the con. They're not exclusives. They're like Entertainment Earth things or other things that are dropped other places. I think going back to having some of them more involved in that. I mean, it's great to see like $7 a pop got their first exclusive. Maybe they'll get into it. Yeah. Some more. I don't know how that's been for them overall, at this point of sales, but I think, we see Chalice does really well with exclusives and getting them out there. A couple of the other companies, I think Fugitive had a new exclusive this year, like seeing companies like that putting out stuff. I think it would be good to see.
Toy Temple had the Ezra.
Yeah.
I've actually a good thing that I wanted to bring up. I just saw his name again, so it made me remind. So a big thing that Funko finally did that's definitely in the positive column is they ship to Canada now from the Funko shop.
Yeah,
so.
that was a huge
ship everything now,
this year,
right? Wasn't there a problem with it not shipping, or you can't get your fan rewards? Is that the issue? I heard something like that.
I'm not aware of that.
I thought there was some issue with like fan reward program and getting the early or getting the discount or something weird like that.
I'm not aware of that. But also another good thing too, I would say, is the fan rewards program. I think that having that little bonus points kickback that you can then use as an additional discount towards a future purchase, I think that is also a really nice bonus that Funko did. They implement that end of last year or beginning of this year? It
was last year, but they really went heavy into it this year. Like early access. More drops almost every week now. They're doing something. We're dropping extra exclusives, and they got the coupons and they got all that.
And I think that's good because it just encourages more traffic, more interaction with the website. Which if they're making Funko.com like the main hub to get most of what they're putting out, then you need to make it as pleasant of an experience for the customer as possible. So I think in those regards, they're definitely doing a good job. But just, ultimately what we're talking about here is, in my opinion, little tweaks overall with like communication.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I think it is.
I really think that they have, a very strong community that exists like not many other communities are like this. And I think that you still have all these content creators, you have toy shows every single weekend, you have all these cons where obviously Funko Pops are present. The autograph game is huge, like where people are specifically looking for specific pops to then take or purchase at an event to get signed by that actor or actress or voice. It's huge. So I think that they just have so much opportunity, and whoever is running Funko day to day, not the CEO, but like the mid-level people who are actually like directing up advice and decisions for the top staff to then execute those decisions. Like, I don't think it would take much for them to realize like we have an amazing community at our disposal, right at our fingertips. And then with us as the community, being able to just hold, collect, and show off like new products and be excited and talk about good things, that will inherently kind of, that will boost the excitement for what I like to call like the inactive community, all the people that don't watch YouTube, all the people that aren't going to toy shows, but they just collect on the side, whenever they see something that they want to get.
I mean, if we're talking about all the things that we want, I think that they also need to bring back some kind of a social media team.
Yeah.
I'm you know what? Listen, call me crazy. I miss that. I miss the little shot. Like,
I think it's a big missed opportunity.
100%. It's that connection. It's the it feels, it puts a face to something. I think you need to have in this kind of thing. Maybe you don't need to have it, but I think that
you need to have it. And they have.
I think it's a huge thing, in my opinion.
There's other sharks in the water, and they're not, and Funko is not the only one. Like there is a lot of competition right now for our hard-earned money, and I felt like in years past, you know, Funko was that very affordable collectible that, you know, that had so many IPs and so many familiar characters and everything, and there was really nobody challenging them in this space. Well, guess what? You have other challengers now. So I'm hoping that somebody hopefully they've already sat down and had some meetings and they go, hey, we need to step it up because we have a good product, but we are going to lose. We are going to lose customers. We are going to lose people's money if we are not better than the other people around us. Because if the other people are putting out other stuff that people want, our budgets are only so deep. We do not have infinite money to spend. We do not have infinite shelf space. And at the end of the day, people put on their shelf what matters most to them and what they enjoy the most in any given moment in time. So they do need to step it up, though. They can't be complacent. And a social media team would definitely help them make the right steps to avoiding that complacency. Sorry, Josh.
No, I would just, you know, I think, you know, them being able to connect with fans more, and then also figure out some kind of influencer program that's more consistent. I know they work with a couple people. I don't know if they're open to working with more people, but I know a lot of other companies like Box Lunch and Hot Topic and other Entertainment Earth and things like that are doing more and more with like larger like collectives of people that are part of their influencer, because different people work perfect for different campaigns. Like Vince and Brie would be perfect for a Disney campaign, where then John would be perfect for a Star Wars campaign, you know, and then I would be good for a Stranger Things campaign or something, like, you know, like you figure out like not always that one person is the perfect person for that campaign, you know, and you have, you know, your influencers out there and you're working with people. But I think having a group of people to pull from, I think will help them a lot. And hopefully they can, you know, figure that out and get someone in there that kind of works with those. One of the things my mom actually brought up, and she was surprised, they have no Funko.com gift card available at all.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Oh, my mom, like, how easy is a gift card program? Like, there is no,
what
like, hey, I don't know.
Gosh, what a great point right there.
Shout out to Mama Murdoch. Man, I never even thought
she wrote
that.
them.
Crazy.
She sent them a message about it, too. I was like, Mom, go. I like,
why would they not do
tell them that?
That's
and I was like, Mom,
money.
they don't listen to me. So why don't you tell them that?
No, they don't.
I mean, how simple would that be? Like, you're not going to get something shipped in time from there probably to get to you, but you could order a gift card, and then like Vince's mom could be like, I don't know what to give Vince. I'm going to give him a gift card to Funko Shop.
He likes a lot of those little dolls that he has.
Yeah, you can buy more dolls and stuff like
buy
that.
more dolls.
Round of applause for that. That's amazing. What a great idea.
That is a very valid point, man. I was just about to start putting gift cards on our website. I'm surprised that they haven't thought about that yet.
Wow. That's
crazy. I mean, I think, you know, I think that would be the simplest thing for them. It is literally like they already do it with redemption codes with the you know, the Funko merchandise and that, but a gift card program is not that hard. Like everyone has a gift card program.
Yeah.
And right now is the perfect time. Maybe I buy $100, I get $10 for someone else, you know, get $10 extra, or, you know, something bonus at the holiday time. They always do gift cards for and stuff like that, but you can use in the new year $10 extra. But I mean, I think they do a redemption thing for Pop Yourself. Like you can send someone a code, I think, for Pop Yourself, so they can pop themselves, but they don't do anything else. So that is a goal for them for 2025 if they want to sell more to direct to consumer. Funko.com gift cards.
Yeah, I mean that would be kind of huge, I think.
Yeah.
They could even take it a step further, and they could do like specific ones for like Pop Yourself. Like you could buy like a card, and it's good for like one wedding 2-pack Pop Yourself, and that could be.
Well, I think they do the Pop Yourself like redemption thing. They do that where you can buy it and you can send it to someone, but they have no other gift card.
Is it physical though? I feel like that would kind of be cool if it was physical.
That's
then
the
you
thing.
could like, because I've
digital.
seen Pop Yourself like all over Instagram on like non-Funko pages with like people's weddings and like birth announcements, like all kinds of crazy like celebrations, birthdays, like parties and stuff. Like people, the Pop Yourself is really, I'm sure, made them buckets and buckets of money. So if they can lean into that, so how many celebrities have popped themselves? Like it's just, it's genius.
I think leaning into that, the gift card idea in general, like they can add other features or whatever you want to do.
No, that's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
I mean, do a physical one or a digital one. You get a choice too. Like you need it last minute, you might get a digital one. You need something like you want something physical to put in a card to send to your grandson. You can do that. You know, like they're I think they're just missing out. Like who doesn't have a gift card anymore?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
What company doesn't have a gift card? For them. Like I think you can even buy Whatnot gift cards. Maybe I don't know. Like at that point, like I feel like you can get everything. Like I know eBay has gift cards. You can get an eBay gift card. Like every company out there has something. So
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and I never even really paid attention to that before.
I think overall they did some good stuff. They obviously have some things that we would like to see change. Transparency and some more communication would be the best. I will say, as far as NFTs, I think they've done a good job working with creators to promote NFTs and do marketing for that. So if they're doing it over there, like I really think they need to, like, to piggyback off what you said, Josh, I think they need to do that more with like con pops. And if they look around the community and say like, hey, this specific collector has a following and they're really into Marvel pops, don't send them every con pop, but send them the newest Spider-Man that's coming out and just get them excited. Just send it to them and just say, hey, make a fun reel, take a picture, bring it to you, like do whatever you want with it. Just leave it open-ended, and it's basically free marketing if that creator would like to participate in something like that. For sure. But if they're already a collector, it should be like a no-brainer. But we'll see. I'm very optimistic. I've heard so many different things, some good, some questionable, moving into 2025. I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about, that I have heard from several different people, is that they still want to focus on pleasing the collector. So if they are still focused on being like an overall toy company, I am happy that I've heard that they're still focused on the collector. And I really think that they need to have fun days, and they need to have some like events, like even like what do they do with that was a Project Fred event, but even like having the event where like people went to that, the Big Boy restaurant, and they had the Funko party and everything. Like have more stuff like that, that gives an opportunity. Mason does a great job. He's constantly traveling. He must have like a crazy schedule already booked for 2025, but give people opportunities to go to those events, make content off of it, because that just gives more awareness for the brand and everything. And give away some cool stuff, throw some exclusive items in people's bags. That's what makes the hobby unique and special. The Hollywood event recently, I got my pop today in the mail. I'm super excited to open that up. So and do something on the East Coast. It wouldn't kill you, Funko. Do something on the East Coast.
We're asking for a lot. I feel like we gave a lot of good ideas though. So just saying, maybe watch this. No, for real. I think that,
what's funny though? They might be laughing at us. Somebody might be sitting back and laughing at us because they apparently have made more money so far in 2024 than they did in 2023 at this point. So maybe they're looking at us going, we don't need to change anything. We're making more money than we did last year. So joke's on you guys.
We're going to do the same thing. So sorry, guys. All your ideas are in the garbage.
Yeah, which is good. It's a sign of a healthy, company. They've been able to reduce costs, and they brought in more cash, and they've sold more items. So, they're in a good spot moving into 2025. I don't want to see them lose this great community, but continue to make money. But we'll see. I'd like to see both. I want to see them interact with the community and make money so we can all enjoy the hobby.
That's what I said. They can have it both ways. I think couple little tweaks, couple little things that they have to do might cost a couple bucks, but you make a lot of people happy, like me and everybody probably in the chat here tonight. I mean, we're getting up to it already. I'm sure you guys have a lot of stuff going on. So Josh, would you like to tell us what, and you know what, if you got anything new coming for the new year, we'll spend an extra couple minutes. If you got anything that you're going to change with the channel or do something fun, let us know that, and I'll have to. I don't think I have anything like that. I'm just thinking about that on the spot. But if you get anything fun,
I was wondering. I was like, oh crap.
Hey, Josh. Okay, go. You do it. Tell me everything you plan to do this year.
Funko, we're switching channels.
Holy crap! What a way to find that out. Well, interesting.
I mean, you probably excite Shannon a little bit with that. So I don't, we haven't really talked about like any kind of plan for
changing
2025. I think right now it's like, I think for me it's a balance of life. I think that's an important part of what we do and what's going on. So for me, it's also, I would love to be able to do, especially if, I mean, the sad thing is I didn't sell out this like last mystery box drop I did on the website and things like that. So I don't know if I can keep dropping mystery boxes on the website if I can't sell out mystery boxes on the website. And they're good boxes I put together, but it's hard, to put stuff like that out there. So figuring out what's next for us, whether we do different focuses on Whatnot and try to mix things up and do a variety of different things that we want to kind of mix things, because I do want to pare down our collection. That's for 2025 is my biggest goal, is actually going through storage and paring down the collection a lot more. There's a lot of stuff that I have that's I don't feel like I need anymore. Like I have a ton of things that are in our collection that I'm ready to like pass forward and keep and narrow down what we have. I think, continuing to do a lot of different stuff. I think getting pickier with mystery boxes a little bit too. I think it is going to be a little bit of a one, but also trying to mix in more fun content that we have that we keep, wanting to do. To me, it's also getting to the stuff that I buy to make a video out of, because I have stuff out there that I haven't made. Like, I'm ready to open and do more, but it's time for content. It's like, we put out usually put out 3 videos a week. Sometimes we only put out 2, but usually we put out 3 videos a week a lot of times. And still it's getting to the stuff we have for content and that, plus doing Whatnot, plus doing everything else. So for us, it's kind of figuring out like what else to do with Whatnot for us. How else to sell collections, maybe other places to do it, maybe other ways, like other mystery boxes if people are interested in it, all those kind of things with our channel. And then, other than that, I think I'll still have fun with NFTs. There's a lot of, like, if any of the things are true that are coming out, I'm looking forward to those for 2025. There's a lot of great fun things with NFTs. There's a lot of other things that, want to do, but I think paring down the collection is the hard part. It's hard to say goodbye to some things.
Yeah, there's certain things. I get it.
Yeah, certain things to say goodbye to, but it's also like I see a huge need for it for us. So that's probably one of those. I'm trying to think. I think that's about it for right now. I think there's a lot of still thinking, but it's like prioritizing, life and other things that are going on too.
Yeah, I totally get that. John?
Norway, good morning. I am happy to report that I was able to track down your box this afternoon. She sent us a box 4 weeks ago, and it got lost in the
November 7th.
Oh, okay. 2 months ago, or I guess, I don't know, 7 weeks ago, whenever. But yeah, rescued that box today, so that was cool. Bobby said, whatever you gentlemen do, I will continue to support you all through 2025, and that means a lot. So I am happy to report that Josh let the cat out of the bag. Funko News Canada. I'm selling all my pops and I'm switching to Thrill Joy.
Man, about time.
About time, right? No, it's funny, Professor Josh. It's funny that you say you were trying to slim down the collection. There was a lot of stuff that I sold in 2024 that I didn't really want to sell that I'm going to be trying to get back, hopefully in the second half of 2025. But stuff that we're going to be, I don't think we're really going to be changing much with the Pop channel, with the exception of I would like to do more hunts. Just with everything we had going on, I wasn't able to do as much like hunt videos, and I know like those videos have done pretty well our channel, and people enjoy those. So I definitely want to get back to shopping in stores and pop hunting and stuff. But that's just because we had a very crazy year. So we weren't able to always do that. We just had to do like a battle, or we wanted to do a battle or an unboxing or something different. I talk about values or something, just because that's what we had time for, and it didn't require me to leave the house. We actually have a pretty crazy con schedule lined up for 2025. This will be our busiest year as far as travel, which is pretty exciting. A little nerve-wracking as well, but still exciting. I don't think we're announcing which ones we're going to yet, just because we're still trying to lock down hotels. But the biggest thing that we have in store is we're very happy about how the studio came out, and we actually sat down with our contractor the other day and mapped out a financial game plan for the renovation costs for the garage. And then I came into the studio 2 nights ago, and Joanna had we had like said that we were going to like map out what we wanted the garage to potentially look like. And then Joanna, I had gone to we have a treadmill in the garage. I went to walk on the treadmill like I do every couple days, whatever. I came back and Joanna had the full like specs of what we want in the garage all mapped out on her 3D architecture program. So super excited for that. And I'm going to take the leap of faith, and I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm actually going to start the channel in January. I was going to wait until like April or May, until after the studio was done. But just based on all the reactions and all the great feedback we've got, for the most part, from the people watching the videos of this studio getting built and all the renovations done on our house and everything, we are going to slowly roll out content on the new channel and capture all the renovations and how that is going to take shape. So that's what we're going to be doing. And January is not too far away, so already plans for that. So 2025 is looking busy, which is good.
So it's a lot different than 24.
Yeah, 24 was not.
Yeah, no, that wasn't that bad. So hopefully, now you're rolling into it. Fantastic.
Hopefully 2025 more sleep.
Don't have to move.
No, at least you don't have to
Yes,
move.
no more moving. I am done. I don't want to move for like 40 or 50 years, and even then I'm probably good. I hope we are here forever. Like, we love this house. This house is perfect for us. And ultimately, like, really quick, sorry to cut you off, Vince. I just want to say again, like, thank you to everybody who was so supportive of everything that we went through in 2024. YouTube, our community on here, Josh said it earlier, this is a great escape from reality, but our escape from reality has also become a big part of our family. So just sincerely, like, thank you guys for helping us get this house, build this studio, and we have a bunch more exciting projects that we can't wait to work on. So thank you for everything.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I honestly, I was trying to think if, like, me and Bree have not had a chance to really talk about the channel coming up this year. I'll be honest, and I kept on saying it. This was the hardest year for us by far. We have done more videos shooting them the day before than we ever have. And usually with our schedule, like, that is too hard to do. So I'm hoping that we were able to start stockpiling stuff again, because it's gotten really hard to do it the day before. We've continued to do 3 videos a week, which we've been doing 3. We have only missed, I think, 2 videos. That's one of them was because I'm an idiot and I put it on a Friday and thinking that Thursday was not Thursday. But we've only missed 2 videos in, this will be 5 years. 5 years in April. Is that right? Holy crap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. Like, that is insane. So at 3 videos a week, we're going to be close to 1,000 videos, like actual videos, not with lives and all that stuff. We're probably over that on YouTube, but we'll be close to 1,000 videos by the end of 2025 if we continue on that schedule, which is absolutely bonkers to me. Really, I don't think we're going to change a lot with the channel. Honestly, we've been doing a lot of shorts that we've had. If you guys have seen some of our last couple, we're starting to have like a good time, me and her, doing that. So I think we'll probably do more shorts this year. But we'll probably still continue doing the 3 videos. And I don't think we're going to veer away from that unless mystery boxes, because they have gotten to a point now that they're starting to get hard to find good ones. Like, and when you see boom loop boxes start not selling out too, I get worried that companies are going to continue doing them. So unless that changes, we will continue with the mystery boxes. But we've had fun answering questions and doing that kind of thing. So you guys make sure you keep on bringing the questions to us, because we honestly do love that. And the only other thing I think we might do less of is the whatnot stuff. We might do more with our website this year, because it's gotten too hectic for us. It, like you said, Josh, the life balance thing. And I don't want to talk for another 20 minutes, because like we could go into all the other stuff, but it does become a grind at times. And I think we've all probably gone through that at one point or another. And with that said, we got a family live this Sunday. So, forget everything I just said. Let's do more. We've got like 15 giveaways, or maybe more than that. I don't even know. You guys, if you have not watched the videos over the last 2 months, forget the rest of the year. Go through, since I think we started it on Thanksgiving. There's a giveaway in every video that we'll be giving that stuff away on the Family Live this Sunday. And we felt bad that we haven't done one in it's been like 5 or 6 months. So we're going to be doing trivia and giveaways and doing all that stuff. So join us over there on Sunday night at, I think we said 8 p.m. It's already up now, so you guys can go bookmark it if you need to. But other than that, just 2 more housekeeping things. Listen, people have already left, so unfortunately they're going to miss out on this. But we do not have PFO next week because it's on Christmas Eve. We do not have it the following week because it's the day after New Year's. So what we are doing, we got 2 special box battle videos that honestly, I feel like those videos always do really well. And I think you guys enjoy them. We will be playing for whoever loses gets something tragic happened to him. No, we're not going to do anything like that. It'll just probably be a friendly
It got dark.
thing.
So Freddie gets crushed.
Listen, John's going to lose again. So why would we do that? That's when
Oh,
you know what I mean? It wouldn't even be right at that point. But no, we got 2 really cool box battles. We got a special box that we're saving for one of ours, and then we all 3 of us have the same box for another one, unless anything changed. I'm thinking that's still going to say
something doesn't arrive.
We'll figure that out after the show here, but we'll have those 2. And guys, other than that, everybody, thank you so much, really, from the bottom of our hearts. We do this a lot, but thank you from the bottom of our hearts for another fantastic year, 2024 for us as a collective here in this amazing community. You guys really do, like I just said, I can't believe we're about to hit 5 years on YouTube this year, which, wow, I mean, that is baffling to me. But
Bobby,
a lot of the people,
I'm not moving. You can't make me.
A lot of people in the chat actually have been here for all of those 5 years, which is crazy. Or if not, at least 3 or 4. So, guys, thank you for another wonderful year. We will see you guys in 2025. Make sure you are checking out the battle videos. And man, other than that, keep shooting until you score. I said your phrase in 3 videos over the last couple weeks, and I got it wrong every time. But I think I got it pretty close. So, guys, thank you, everyone, and good night. See you in 2025.